Hi dear viewers. Today I'm joining a conversation with Robin Rice Green, the author of The Push and other books that she has authored. It's quite a joy to have Robin featured on P English Literature today. How are you doing, Robin?
I am doing wonderful.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to have you on the show.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, Robin, could you tell us about your book, The Push? How does this book come about? What inspired you to write The Push?
I wrote the push actually about me getting out of my job. I
Oh,
was working what I called a dead end job, and there were so many different reasons why I didn't want to be there. But I kept pushing through it. I just kept going in every day and expecting something to change when it wasn't going to change. And year after year, it just became even more daunting for me. So eventually, I decided I had to go. I didn't know how, I didn't know why, but I knew I had
wow.
to go. So I decided I was going to actually go after my childhood dream, which is to write books.
Wow.
And I have started writing books I guess when I was like 18, and I just never I've gone to publishers, but it's kind of hard to do all of that. So, you end up in the rat race. You end up going to find a job and hoping that that pays your bills and finding another job and just continuing that process for the rest of your life. And I no longer wanted to do it. So that was what inspired me to write my book. And that is actually what the push is about.
Wow.
It's about a lady named Tiffany that gets out of her own way, but it takes a while.
Oh,
The process of convincing yourself to do something that's scary is really, really hard,
absolutely.
especially when you're looking at your money, your bills, your problems. It becomes a little daunting, but that's why I wrote it.
Oh, wow. I love the sound of the push and the inspiration attached to his making. Sounds very intriguing to me. Now, I also
Thank
see,
you.
Robin, that you have another book titled A Mother's Pain, A Child's Pain. And I want to say that I specifically love the title. It's very
Thank you.
captivating, quite evocative, wanting the reader to want to find out what exactly is contained in the book. For readers who haven't read the book yet, who haven't read A Mother's Pain, A Child's Pain yet, and without giving much information away, could we have a sneak of what we'd expect picking up A Mother's Pain?
So, a mother's pain, a child's pain is actually written so that the reader gets to decide whose pain it actually is.
Oh,
It's written in a way that, depending on the type of reader you are, depending on the message you get out of it, do
wow.
you think that it's the mother who's actually feeling this pain, or do you think it transferred and it's the child's pain?
Mm,
So that's why I use both of those as the title because it's up to your interpretation. But the book is about the challenge of having a child that's different, having a child that you didn't exactly want. You didn't exactly dream that this was going to be your child.
mm. Yeah.
Everybody has their own opinion of what their child is going to be like, what their child is going to look like, um, even all the way down to the academics. But
Yeah.
what if you have this child and that's not the child you wanted? So now you have to push through life, still being a mom. You still got to be a mom. You still got to do momly duties. But now what do you do? And now poses the question, does it become the child's pain
Mm.
because they were not even really wanted? So it is a very intriguing book. I wrote it out of I want to say I wrote it out of the fear of being a parent, and the misunderstanding of being a child.
Oh, wow. That sounds quite intriguing. I love the title of your books, and the description sounds quite amazing to me. And I wanted to
Thank
ask you, what genre of literature is A Mother's Pain?
So, A Mother's Pain is just simply family fiction,
Oh,
and the push is more sci-fi.
oh wow.
Um, yeah, because once you get into the push, you start to realize you have to go to an alternate universe, an alternate planet, one
Mm,
that's right beside you. You had no idea it was there, but it's there, and they get this address that seems like across the world. And they drive there in a week. And they get there, and it's kind of sort of like outside of a neighborhood. And it's like, this can't be what I think it is until you get in there. So, like I said, imagination, really.
wow, that's amazing. That's quite amazing. Now let's talk about criticism and feedbacks. As authors, we all have different ways of reacting to feedbacks and criticism of our works. I'm curious to know your opinion about criticism. How do you react to negative criticism of your books if you've ever had one in time past?
So, the first thing I want to say when it comes to criticism, and everybody has their own opinion. So, we're going to start
Absolutely.
there.
Yeah.
Everything is not for everyone. So that is kind of the approach that I take when people do not like my book or or don't get the message that I was sending through the
Try to
book.
communicate. Yeah.
Um, because like I said, everything is up to your interpretation.
Absolutely.
But I will say when I receive criticism and I can tell it's with love, I try to incorporate it in my next book. I'm
Yeah.
not going to change my current book. My current book is what it is. You like it, you love it, you know, it's all the same to me.
Mm,
It's written. But I will try to take in your criticism or your feedback into my next works because there will be more, several more. So with that being said, I think in any profession you choose, you should always aim to get better. And I can't get better if I'm still trying to incorporate everybody's opinions in one masterpiece.
absolutely.
I have to move on to another masterpiece.
Absolutely. Oh
So that's
wow.
how I take criticism.
I love your thoughts and your feedbacks, your answers to these questions. They sound very educative. I love them. I love
Thank
them.
you.
You absolutely cannot take all of the feedback. You can incorporate everything inside a manuscript. So you have to go into the next one. So that's a very great thought. Thanks for adding that. Now, I'm also
Thank you.
curious, Robin, to know if you experienced any challenges while writing your book. If there is any, could you
Man, so
share with
many.
us what challenge it is and how you ultimately overcame it?
So I will say this. Um, I'm 38 years old. I was
Oh,
37 when I started writing A Mother's Pain.
oh,
No, I might have been 36 to be honest. I think it took
okay.
about 2 years for me
No,
to write A Mother's Pain.
oh,
And when I finally published A Mother's Pain, that's when I realized, oh my goodness, I can really do this.
mm,
And with that being said, my challenges are the same as everyone else's. Your doubt, your fear, your really your believability. Do you have believability in yourself? Um, my another challenge of mine was listening to all the hearsay. There, yes, you will have people that encourage you, but for the most part, you will have people that will doubt everything about you
absolutely.
because they think they know you best. They think they're closest to you, all kinds of different reasons. That does not make them wrong, but it sure doesn't make them right.
Mm,
And to me, those were a lot of the challenges that I faced. Also, time.
yeah,
When you're working full time, and for me, I was working 2 and 3 jobs at different times throughout my life. I had no time to write. I had no time to even think creatively.
Oh wow.
because I was always going from this place to that place, trying to pay this bill and, you know, finance this, situation.
Mm.
And I think once I was able to kind of back up and say, you know what, this is not the life I want. I'm, you know, and I will say this. This is the truth. You hear it a lot. It sounds crazy when you're hearing it and you're not actually following your dreams. But age is really nothing but a number. Once I realized that I was just getting older, I wasn't accomplishing what I wanted, but I was just getting older. I had to take a step back and say, well, would it be better for me not to do my dream and keep following behind everything that I think I'm supposed to do? Or would it just be easier for me to just follow my dream and let the cards fall where they may? Either way, I'm still taking a gamble. Every day you walk into your job, you're taking a gamble. They
Mm.
can fire
Yeah,
you like that. And guess what?
absolutely.
Your life is in their hands. It's just true.
Absolutely.
I hate to be bearer of bad news, but that is the reality of life.
Absolutely.
So with that being said, I actually went to my husband when I chose to be a full-time author, and I said, I can't take it anymore. I can't do the job and be an author. I just can't do it. And he said, this is what you've been talking about for years. He said, so if this is really what you want to do, one thing that I know about you is we'll get the bills paid.
Mm.
We'll figure it out however we need to figure it out. And with that, I went to my therapist. That's why the therapist is in the book, The Push.
Oh,
I
wow.
went to my therapist and I said, I can't take it anymore. And he said, you need to figure out a plan and put it into action, and I'll support you all the way.
Wow.
And he did. And we made it out. I did finally quit my job. And now I am a full time author. So all I do is write, read books, because it is very important to still be reading. It's very important to still
Absolutely.
have your imagination open, because one thing that I've read, and this to me is so pivotal, is when you write a book, it doesn't matter if you write the same type of book that someone else has written. Your experience is going to be totally different.
Absolutely
The way you
different.
present it is going to be totally different
Absolutely
because you
different.
are unique in yourself.
Absolutely.
And once you realize that, and like I said, it took me to 37, 38 to realize it.
Mm.
But once you realize it, it's like, well, what could go wrong? And that's why I'm here.
Wow. That's very inspiring. It's
Thank you.
very inspiring, motivating, and quite didactic. Thank you so much for sharing this. Very amazing. I'm intrigued. Now, apart from A Mother's Pain and The Push, do you have any other works you've altered or currently working on?
So I've authored other like planners and um, journals and things like that. Things that really didn't take too much time. But right now, I'm actually working on like 4 different books. It's terrible. I know it's really hard when you're a writer to pinpoint exactly what book you want to be on. So
Mm.
for me, I'm writing like 4 at one time. But the one that probably will come out first is my homeless journey.
Oh,
I was homeless at one point, and I would love to tell the story of my homeless journey.
wow.
And I probably will talk about each and every one of them in one book.
Mm.
But after that, I actually want to write a follow up book, um, kind of explaining what what it really, what a homeless person really needs. I hear a lot of times, especially on Facebook, especially on YouTube, you hear a lot of people say, well, I helped this homeless guy by giving him $10, or I helped by donating to this certain thing, or I helped by donating to this certain thing. And to me, that's not how you help homeless people. I just need I just want people to know that there are different ways to help, and that every way that you help does actually do something. And it's not just about, oh, well, I seen him go into the store and he bought this one thing, and I think he bought it with my money. You have no idea what he bought with your money. It could have been with the person before you money.
Absolutely.
You have no idea. And I just want people to kind of get out of their own way. If you want to be a good person and you want to do for the homeless, just do it. If you're not willing to just do the work and really not even be thanked, there is no point in you doing it. I want to be here to help people, get to another step. And with that being said, sometimes that means helping them in unconventional ways.
Yeah.
So that's my next book. Well, my next 2 books.
It's amazing, and I look forward to that. Hopefully, when that is up, we'd love to invite you back on the show. And it sounds very amazing to me, very intriguing to me. Now, Robin, let's talk about publishing. Could you tell us what publishing is like for a published author like yourself? What are the challenges you've encountered in terms of marketing your books? And what are the mediums you've utilized so far in promoting both books?
So I'm going to start with publishing. So publishing is really hard. Up until maybe the last few years, you could not just publish. You could not just self-publish.
Yeah.
So you had to go through a publishing company.
Absolutely.
I was hit with many walls when it comes to that. I have tried, in my 20s, I tried writing books and getting with publishing companies. The problem with that is they want to change your word. They want to change it to read a certain way. They needed to be more, as they call it, marketable. So, like they'll change certain words or phrases, and sometimes they'll even take out chapters. Me, if I'm going to pour my heart into a book, I want you to get all of my words. I want you to get the full picture. I don't want anything omitted. But that is what happened in a lot of people. You can look up a lot of different authors. I'm not going to name any names, but you can look up a lot of authors who started out with a manuscript that may have been a novel, and it got turned into a poem book. How? But it's because the publishers needed to change so many things that the words really didn't mean anything. So anyway, so when you look at where we are today, we now have self-publishing. So self-publishing is so much easier. Marketing your own material.
Yeah.
It's very hard to market because everybody has everything out there now.
Absolutely.
Everything is so social media bound that you kind of start falling through the cracks. And even though you have a good product, whether that be a book or a physical product that you're using, or even a good service, is so many other people promoting this same service or the same book or the same type of product.
Absolutely.
That you kind of get lost in the middle. So to me,
Alright.
The art of publishing is not hard. It's the art of marketing that
Absolutely.
makes it very hard.
Hmm. Wow, that's quite extensive, and that's quite deep, profound, and quite educative. Thank you so much for sharing this. Now, Robin, is there anything that you would love to share with the viewers about your books that we couldn't mention in this interview, and you'd love the viewers to know?
Yes. Well, one of the main things I just want the viewers to know is that you can kind of get out your own way today. You can make a choice to get out of your own way today.
Hmm.
And that's what I want to be able to do eventually, I guess, once people start reading my book and learning my name and things like that. I would like to be able to help and encourage people. I help and encourage my friends all the time,
Hmm.
but I would love to help and I would like to help as many people as I can.
Yeah.
I think encouragement is very, very, it's not promoted enough. It's not enough people out here telling people that they can do it.
Hmm.
And that's where we get so many suicides. That's
Absolutely.
where we get so many people that's homeless and down on their luck and not understanding it's because the encouragement is gone.
It's gone. Absolutely gone.
It's gone.
It's
Even
gone.
in our
Absolutely.
families are not even picking us up and saying, hey, you can do whatever you want to do.
Hmm.
And so that's my message I want to get out to everybody. I want you to know no matter what it is you're thinking of doing, you can do it. Today is the day you start. And you can start small. You do not have to make this big leap and quit your job and all of that. You can start by just writing a journal entry every day. You can start by applying to something new, something that you've never even thought you could do. You know, whatever your dream was when you were a child, you can start doing it today.
Hmm.
And it does not need a big degree. It does not need, you know, so many accolades.
Hmm.
Just do it for you, and eventually everything else will show up.
Absolutely. Wow, that's a lot of weight. I really gain a lot in this conversation, and I'm hopeful the viewers also will get quite a lot from it. Very impressive. Very
Thank you.
impressive. Thank you so much for adding all of this and for the fact that you even mentioned encouragement is gone. As we can see in a society today, even among friends and families, encouragement is absolutely gone. Absolutely gone. You have these people encouraging one another, putting their hands up, trying to be a backbone and said, I'm with you. Go ahead and do it. It's really, really gone. And it seems everybody is over on their own, like minding their own business. No one to intervene
Yes,
into stuff like that. It's quite
yes,
amazing to know that you're trying to reach out and spread news and trying to communicate encouragement to a world that is dying of encouragement. That's very amazing.
yeah,
Thank you so much.
yes.
Next, I want to ask you, Robin, as a published author, what sort of advice do you have for other writers who are still struggling with publishing a book like yours? What did you tell people in this category?
If you are trying to become an author, you can start today. One of the things that I started when I finally decided I was going to actually start really writing A Mother's Pain
Yeah.
and start dibbling and dabbling in it was I created 1 hour a day that I would write. And me, most of my, I'm an early bird. I wake up at like 5 a.m. and that became my time. So at 5 o'clock when I woke up, I would start a timer from the time I got in front of my computer until it went off in an
Wow.
hour. And
Wow.
during that time, it was just about my book.
Wow.
I would write my book, put your phone on silent. I understand there's a lot of ding dings or whatever, but
Yeah.
put your phone on silent for an hour. Dedicate yourself to your work, whatever you want to do. Because the hardest part to the whole adventure is getting started.
Absolutely.
Once you get started, as the words start flowing, it becomes harder and harder to pull yourself away from that computer. It becomes harder and harder for you to say, oh, but let me go downstairs and grab, no, never mind. Let me finish up this little paragraph. And it ends up being a whole page. So my, my greatest advice to authors and anybody really that wants to change their life and wants to do something different, today is that day. You can start today. And it doesn't have to be an hour. I started out at an hour because I knew I could dedicate an hour of my time to my craft. But you can always start off with just 15 minutes, however you would like to do it, or give yourself a word limit. It's so many different creative methods you can use.
Absolutely.
just to get the ball rolling.
Absolutely.
And understand that nowadays, you can self-publish on so many different platforms.
Absolutely.
Me, myself, I've only done Amazon, really. I have done Lulu. I didn't like that. But I feel like it's so many different options that you should try them all. And I do. I plan on trying all platforms that I can find. Because you just never know what can be your niche.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I love your advice. I love your advice, and I'm hopeful that viewers, including myself, would love to utilize it. So, on what platform can interested viewers get a copy of your book in case there are people who are interested in getting a copy? What platform are they available on for purchase?
Okay, well, so I'm on Amazon. My name is Robin Rice Green. The hyphen is in there. I can also be looked up on Facebook. And like I said, if you go to Amazon and just type in my name, my author page should pop up. That should not be a problem. And just a little bit of advice to anybody that may want to reach out to me. You can always do my name, Robin Rice Green. So Robin.ricegreen at gmail.com. Do not put the hyphen in that one. Leave the hyphen out. And that is my personal email. And you can email me there. And I would love to hear from anyone. And like I said, I am just here to encourage. I want everybody to be able to do the same thing I did, to take the leap of faith.
Oh, that's great. And I've left a link in the description part of this conversation to Robin's book link on Amazon, where you can get a copy directly from Amazon. So thank you so much, Robin, for accepting the invitation to be featured on P English Literature. It's a pleasure having you on the show.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's a pleasure having you here.
I am just so happy. I'm very excited for this opportunity.